All right, boys. Another day, another content from AniNews to end off the part 1 of ReZero Season 3, part 1 finale. Let's see what Mr. AniNews has for us today. This one is called Subaru's Greatest Risk Yet. A curse, a sacrifice, and a plan. Let's get into it.
In only 8 short episodes, we've got 4 archbishops attacking, Subaru dealing with phenomenon he can't even understand, Amelia captured, Beatrice in a coma, Garfield dealing with some serious personal issues, Wilhelm also dealing with some serious personal issues, Reinhardt being Reinhardt, Krusch permanently disfigured, Al being sus, Mimi and her brothers close to death, Julius lacking self-confidence, then Priscilla somehow coming out on top as the unexpected heroine.
Did y'all just hear how much is going on in these like 8 episodes? This is fucking the way he just put it, this is insane. There's a lot going on, huh? There's a lot going on, man.
There's also Felix thinking he's useless, as well as Otto scurrying about dropping bombshells proving he's best boy all over again. So yeah, it's a lot. So much so that the anime has had to gloss over a lot of it. This unfortunately means the side characters don't get the development they deserve, but that's exactly why I'm here.
Alright, AniNews.
So if you want to see what from the novel didn't make it into the finale, stick around because I'll be going through all of it. I also highly recommend watching last week's video too, because if there was any episode to define who Subaru is as a character, this one does it perfectly.
Definitely.
It also reveals quite a few secrets you might want to know about Al. But anyway, just one last reminder that the Succubate shirts are only available till Monday, so if you want to get them before they're gone for good,
a little sponsor.
Right up their alley. Okay, episode 58, The Person You Will Fall in Love With, covering chapters 4 and 5 from volume 18 of the light novel. When Reinhardt came in and apologized for being late, a simple sorry wasn't enough for everyone to just forgive him. Sure, it would have been easy to just accept it and smooth things over, but because Reinhardt's presence was such an invaluable asset, everyone couldn't help but wonder how the fights would have turned out had he been there.
Exactly.
It was a thought that made it difficult to hide their true feelings.
That's the issue. The issue with Reinhardt, right? Like, listen, I love Reinhardt and all, but like, dude, the issue was, if he's not there, right, and motherfuckers are suffering, the first thing that people are gonna be like is like, where the fuck is Reinhardt? like you're the strongest, man. And it's like, the issue with being the strongest like this and you're not around, it's just people are gonna like think of you like, okay, that's the bad thing though as well, right? They only think of you as a weapon. But it's like, at the same time, it's like, you're the strongest here, bro. If Reinhardt was here, we're good. Like, that's just how it is, man.
Subaru was the only one actually ready to move on, so after jokingly calling him out and making light of his late arrival, he had helped everyone else to voice how they really felt. He basically framed it like an opportunity they'd never get again. If there was ever any time to express their grievances to a person like Reinhardt, this was likely the only time they'd get to do it. So, aside from everyone else giving him an earful, Subaru's own complaint was that he waited until after the speech. If there was any person who could fill the masses with courage like how he did, Subaru believed that person was Reinhardt.
Really?
Of course, Reinhardt naturally disagreed, because to him, any words he might say would be received completely different.
Y'all think Reinhardt got it in the speech? What do y'all think, man? Does Reinhardt got it in the speech? I mean, maybe if he just says, I'm Reinhardt van Astrea. Literally first. Like, if Reinhardt literally says that shit frame 1, then maybe, I guess. I don't know. But, like, I don't know. But, yeah. Reinhardt, you know what? The crazy thing about Reinhardt, he may be the strongest, but, like, he does struggle with confidence, right? Either struggles with confidence or he's, like, very super duper humble, right? He, like, humbles himself. You know? Like, a lot of the times when, like, Subaru praises him or something, he's like, nah. I'm not that, it's not that crazy. Like, he's like, he like humbles himself in a way, so, you know.
He wanted to make it clear what Subaru did was something only he could do. Now, with Reinhardt providing what was essentially an army's worth of reinforcements, Subaru could approach the situation with the newfound confidence they didn't really have before.
Yeah, now it's different.
His presence alone was enough to reassure him that they could win this.
Bro, Reinhardt's presence you got Reinhardt in your presence right next to you, and it's like there's just like your worries and literally like your fears are gone. You're chilling because Reinhardt's here. But the glaze. Okay, why are you hating on Reinhardt? Yo, creation. Why are you hating on Reinhardt? Why are you hating? Listen, I think Reinhardt, bro. It's just like, listen. I think for plot reasons, he's just not around. Like, what if Reinhardt was, like, around for every arc? Would we even have the Subaru character development? Character development for everyone? Would we even have ReZero? It would just be so fucking easy. It's so lame, right? Like, what if we had Reinhardt as a main character, y'all? If we had Reinhardt as a main character, it would just be, like, just, like, your average isekai, I guess? Even though I haven't watched many isekais, I mean, the main complaints that I hear from people is that, like, it's, like, literally, like, the same shit over and over again. Strong guy gets harem. So, I mean, you know? I don't know. Ah, I see. The way AniNews phrases it, I think it's phrased correctly. I think it's phrased very correctly, dude. Reinhardt's that guy, bro. But, like, I guess, like, the fact that, like, sometimes he doesn't appear and shit, but I think that's just for plot reasons. I don't know. But Reinhardt's that guy, man. I think the hopes of winning the fight if Reinhardt is around is literally, like, everyone's confidence. There's no way that the strongest guy ever, this guy's just here. So, like, your confidence will be at 100 and there's no way you lose. You know what I mean?
Situation with the newfound confidence they didn't really have before.
I respect
his presence alone was enough to reassure him that they could win this.
Definitely.
Reinhardt did have to do a bit of explaining first though, along with Otto, just to satisfy everyone's curiosity. The full details behind that are something I think I'll save for a different video, but to briefly summarize why it is Heinkel took Felt hostage in the first place, well, you'd be surprised to know it had nothing to do with the witch cult at all. He wasn't working with them in any capacity whatsoever.
I never thought that, though. I thought it was just mainly because of the family stuff. You know? Like, you know, like, taking over the family and shit. Like, I never thought, I'll be honest, I never thought it for a single second that it was because of the witch cult. I really never thought that.
The actual reason was something far worse, and it was all because Heinkel was a coward.
Oh.
All he wanted was a way to keep himself safe, and his best bet towards that was to be near Reinhardt. So, what better way to keep Reinhardt put than to take Felt hostage and limit his movements?
What in the fuck? This might be the most coward shit I've ever heard. What in the... Heinkel? Yo, yeah, motherfucker. Bro, he was like, hey, what better way to have Reinhardt around than just take Felt hostage? Like, what the fuck is wrong with this guy, man?
That was the logic under which Heinkel was operating by. The whole thing was one of Reinhardt's greatest failures, and the disappointment he felt for himself was truly immeasurable.
Damn.
It was pain evident by his expressions, showing that he truly was hurt by his own shortcomings. Otto would then go on to recount what happened with himself next, but since most of that went how we saw in earlier episodes, the only thing that needs mentioning is how he escaped. As it turns out, just like how it was for Anastasia, Kiritaka's private forces had come in and saved him.
Yeah.
They arrived as reinforcements when they heard the tower was being sieged, recognized Otto as an emissary of the Amelia camp, then did everything in their power to create an opening for him.
Yeah, I kind of figured. I think it was also briefly mentioned too how Otto got out of that. He got help, yeah.
This unfortunately came at the cost of their lives, but once again, this White Dragon Scale force had proved their effectiveness.
Right, but like they did lose their lives though. Damn. Otto's good, but then, bro, the sacrifices this season are a lot, bro. It's a lot of sacrifices going on, huh?
They truly were the cornerstone of Pristella's defenses. The fact they couldn't be repaid pained Otto greatly, though, since as a proud merchant who always repaid his debts, knowing this one couldn't be settled really bothered him.
Damn, he couldn't.
It had led him to the decision to pay it back by guaranteeing the fate of the city.
He couldn't repay that because they lost their lives, but okay, yo, W fucking Otto. Man, Otto's such a fucking W, yo. Bro, this might go, bro. W fucking Otto, man.
It was the least he could do for the ones who saved him. Moving on to the discussion about the 4 demands now, The tome was currently in the possession of Darts, the famed restorer who Otto had sought assistance from.
Darts. So that's the guy who's Darts. Okay, fully cut out of the anime, by the way.
If anyone could bring this book back from the charred ashes it currently was, Darts was the specialist who could do it. He was proficient in magic that could restore it from practically nothing.
What?
So, with Otto having dropped the tome's remains off by him, that meant its current location was Dart's workshop. Beatrice was explained to be the artificial spirit after, confirming Julius's suspicion that something was different about her. This made Subaru a little bit worried, since if any spirit user could distinguish Beatrice just by looking at her, it meant she was in more danger than he thought.
True.
Subaru felt he wouldn't be able to leave her side due to the risk of someone possibly realizing who she was. Since the witch cult hadn't identified her by name yet, it was of the utmost importance to keep her identity secret.
For sure.
Luckily for Subaru, only a spirit user as skilled as Julius could tell.
That's good. That's good. We're chilling. It's fine. A spirit user as skilled as Julius? Yeah, it's really rare for anyone to really tell. Then it's all good.
Spirit user as skilled as Julius could tell.
She good.
So there really wasn't anything to worry about. Subaru then went on to confirm the silver-haired elf was Amelia, leading to a very over-the-top proclamation that he would be the one to save her. This wasn't the same as all the other times he usually did, since this time Subaru shouted proudly that only he would be the one to marry Amelia. It was a bold statement that led to a comedic set of reactions from those around him. These were fairly expected, but what no one present expected themselves was for Subaru to express his feelings so explicitly and confidently.
I respect it. Like, Subaru doesn't hide anything. He doesn't want to hide anything. He's open about his feelings. He's like, yeah, that's the woman I want to marry. Come on now. The base is fuck.
The one person whose reaction was unexpected was Julius and the deep thought he seemingly fell into.
What?
You see, where Subaru thought he'd find annoyance, he instead turned to find something almost like jealousy.
Oh.
There was an earnest yearning Subaru could sense behind Julius's contemplation. He never did say what it was that had him distracted, but something about Subaru's proclamation had led him to lose track of the conversation.
You jealous, man? Somebody get my boy Julius a girl, man. Somebody get my boy a girl, man. I'm sorry, Julius, bro. I'm sorry, man. Somebody get my boy. I don't know who it is, bro. Somebody get a girl for my boy Julius, man.
But something about Subaru's proclamation had led him to lose track of the conversation.
True, but like Anastasia is right there. I don't think it's about a girl, bro. Okay, I'll let her cook.
Al would then go on to re-explain the message he got from Amelia, but something about him seemed different too. Ever since their intense exchange before the speech, Subaru found Al to be noticeably off. He wasn't carrying himself the same way he usually did. So Subaru actually proceeded to ask him about it, inquiring as to why he was being so sulky. He needed to know since they needed him for this upcoming fight. Since their last one didn't really go too well, Subaru wanted to make it clear that they needed his help now. It was a genuine request Al knew he couldn't deny, but the way he accepted it wasn't that great either. There was this chilling anger that Subaru could sense from behind it.
What is up with this motherfucker, man? I'm gonna tweak out. What the fuck is wrong with me, man? Anger? If that's how you feel, then I'm not against helping out. The anger aura starts fucking building up. Like, what is happening right now, dude? Why do you want to help? Why are you so angry too? Al just being lazy? I mean, maybe this guy is just, he's so sus, man. I can't. This guy is like, he drives me fucking insane every time. He's fucking slothful. Slothful. Doesn't seem like we're gonna get more on Julius either. I think it's just like a mystery of what happens. Was thinking about, but dude, Al, man, I just want answers, bro. It's like with Al, we just get more and more questions, huh? With Al, it's just more fucking questions. We never get answers. And if like we get like some answer, it's just more questions. Like Al is so fucking mysterious, bro.
A mysterious aggressiveness was attached to every single word he spoke.
What the fuck?
This was a wild rage Subaru knew he recognized before, but he couldn't remember from where he'd felt it.
The Witch Code translations? Like season 1, episode 16? Is that what he's talking about? Is that what he's talking about? You know, like he said
to every single word he spoke. This was a wild rage Subaru knew he recognized before.
Wild rage he recognized before. You know how in the cut content it said like he had like this like bloodlust type of aura? Or is that not the same thing? Like ghastly aura. Is that the same shit? Did he get that angry again? That's another thing I can think of. It could be. Holy shit. It could just be that exact. Damn, he got fucking angry. Dude, why is he so bad? Why is he so fucking angry? What is wrong? What is wrong with this guy? Or is it? That's the other thing I can think of though, because like Subaru says he felt it before. You know, the only time I can really think of it could just be that. I think that's the only other time I can really think of like Al getting like that mad or some shit. Like.
But he couldn't remember from where he'd felt it. All he knew was that Al's hostility was something familiar. Fortunately, Priscilla would enter to change that tone completely, bringing a whole new perspective to the conversation. It was as she got caught up, though, that Subaru would step out to handle some of his other conversations.
Yeah.
So, first was Otto explaining why he did what he did, basically highlighting the level of concern he had for Amelia and Subaru. He was constantly thinking, planning, and observing in a way Subaru didn't even consider, saving him day after day without him even realizing it. This was something Subaru couldn't even begin to express his gratitude for, but Otto would stop him before he could even try. What he needed to focus on now was finding darts and getting the tome back from him.
Okay.
Subaru's conversation with Wilhelm was next, starting with a friendly warning about what might happen when dealing with Felix. You see, since he was still blaming everyone for not helping Krush, Subaru was one of the people he probably resented most right now. As the only one who could have prevented Krush's condition, the fact he didn't was something Felix couldn't really forgive him for yet.
Bruh.
So there was a good chance Felix would say something he didn't really mean. A few insults that were just a reflection of the emotions he couldn't control right now. Wilhelm would then go on to discuss the necromancy problem, stating some interesting names pertaining to those who could be related to it.
It's just like, okay, Felix, man. Capella's a problem. Like, I don't know if, does Felix know the specifics of, like, everything that fucking happened? Because, like, dude, that fight was bad. Like, that fight was bad, dude. Like, Capella's a fucking issue, man. She just started fucking pouring dragon blood like it's nothing, bro. She started tweaking the fuck out, man. Like, I don't know. Like, damn, bro.
Reflection of the emotions he
what do you want us to do, man?
Right now. Wilhelm would then go on to discuss the necromancy problem, stating some interesting names pertaining to those who could be related to it. There was the hero of the demi-humans, Libre Fermi.
Libre Fermi. Let me go back a little bit.
Would then go on to discuss the necromancy problem,
the necromancy
stating
problem.
some interesting names pertaining to those who could be related to it. There was the hero of the demi-humans, Libre Fermi, the great strategist Valga Cromwell.
Valga Cromwell? Okay.
Well, then the evil witch Sphinx, who, just like Satella, carved her name into history with blood.
Just like Satella, carved her name with what?
The great strategist Valga Cromwell, then the evil witch.
Evil witch? Nah, no way, right? Evil witch? No. No, she's not actually a fucking witch, right? Dude, don't do this. What do you mean, evil witch? I mean, it could just be like a. It could just be like a this could be a something to throw me off. 10 sins? There's not 10 sins. Yeah, it's just from Will's side story. Okay, no, it's just probably the evil witch Sphinx, right? Okay.
Sphinx, who, just like Satella, carved her name into history with blood.
Just like Stella carved her. Okay.
These were the kingdom's greatest enemies from the demi-human war decades ago.
Alright.
The ones responsible for leading an army of the dead against them. Sphinx in particular was the worst because she alone killed indiscriminately on both sides.
Oh.
She had created an ocean of blood without even batting an eye. So, as a witch that Subaru had never heard of before, he was naturally curious to know how she was associated to the others. That's when Wilhelm would reveal she was only called a witch out of convenience.
Okay, there it is. Out of convenience. Not an actual witch. We don't got 10 sins, y'all. Yo, we don't got 10 sins. It's a title. Yeah, it's a title. It's a title. Okay. It's a title, yeah.
Making her an existence likely different from those of the true witches.
Yeah.
What that meant is that, unlike the other witches who, though dead, still somehow remain alive, Sphinx being destroyed in the war should mean she actually is dead. How her magic remains is a different question, but it's likely the corpse soldiers are a result of her.
So these soldiers are the reason. Or I mean Sphinx is the reason. Huh. Well, that's interesting to know. Sphinx. That's the lore reason. She's the one behind the fucking forbidden art. Okay.
Well, at least her specific taboo anyway. Now, the anime did well to explain the...
Yeah, the caster dead, but the spell is alive, which is fucking weird. That's fucking wild, right? It would normally mean that, like, the person has to die and we're good. And, like, the spell, like, it just probably fucking goes away, right? Or, like, with powers in general. But it's still good. Damn. That forbidden art, bro. God damn.
Well, at least her specific taboo anyway. Now, the anime did well to explain the Astrea family rift after because it made clear where everybody's issues came from. Wilhelm blamed Reinhardt, Heinkel scorned Wilhelm, then Reinhardt took all of it silently.
His family's fucked. Yo, it's like... it's just... it's just like you, then you, then you, like, goddamn, man.
Only in time did Wilhelm start to blame himself. Since he was the one who convinced his wife to abandon the path of the sword, he believed it was him who caused...
Let me run that again. Yeah, you know what? I'll run that again. Let me run that again. Because low-key...
The anime did well to explain the Astrea family rift after because it made clear where everybody's issues came from. Wilhelm blamed Reinhardt.
Yeah, we do this. Will blames Reinhardt.
Heinkel scorned Wilhelm, then Reinhardt...
Heinkel scorns Wilhelm.
Took all of it silently.
And then Reinhardt took all of it silently. So that's kind of exactly what...
Heinkel scorned Wilhelm, then Reinhardt took all of it silently.
Yeah, damn.
Only in time did Wilhelm start to blame himself. Since he was the one who convinced his wife to abandon the path of the sword, he believed it was him who caused the sword god to abandon her.
I see. I get it. Yeah.
He felt he caused a betrayal the sword god could never forgive. Thus the reason it made her lose her divinity in battle.
Is that really the reason? Would that really be the fucking reason? Is that just a fact? Is that just a fact? Like, could be? What even is a sword god? I mean, I'm gonna just go ahead and go with this information right here, I guess. Like, this is all we got so far, bro.
It was him who caused the sword god to abandon her. He felt he caused a betrayal...
Wait, is sword god just like... Wait, no, I'm tweaking the fuck out. Isn't it Alagna? Right? Am I tweaking the fuck out? Isn't there one called... Is it Alagna? Or is it the Divine Protections? It could just be Alagna? Okay. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Alagna. He's the one. He's the one that Reinhardt wishes for, right? The Divine Protections? And that's how Reinhardt wishes and he gets his Divine Protections, I'm pretty sure. So I don't know. That's I think that's how it is, right?
The path of the sword. He believed it was him who caused the sword god to abandon her. He felt he caused a betrayal the sword god could never forgive. Thus the reason it made her lose her divinity in battle.
Damn.
It was punishment for giving up on what she alone was blessed with.
So I guess that could be the reason why she lost it. Punishment for pretty much what she abandoned literally what she was doing. Maybe it could be seen as like some sort of insult to the sword god. Sword god could be different. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm trying to associate it with Alagna, but like maybe it could just be something else, right? Because sword god doesn't really sound like something like related to divine protections. Sword god, sword, and divine protections. Divine protections don't really only have to do with the sword stuff. Sword Saint stuff. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it could just be something completely fucking different. So I don't know.
It made her lose her divinity in battle. It was punishment for giving up on what she alone was blessed with.
Yeah.
This
gave up on her
brings us
blessing.
now to Krush, which was a scene I feel might have been a little bit rushed in the anime. Reason being that a lot of Subaru's inner thoughts were left out. He was deeply affected by the painful state Krush was in, and that made him start to wonder all sorts of questions. All doubted her virtue and looked down on her noble spirit, but none ever considered maybe she called him here for something else. No, he was instead selfishly bracing himself for the blame he felt was inevitable. So, when Krush revealed it was all out of concern for him, Subaru immediately became disgusted by his own gross level of pettiness.
Yeah, Subaru didn't expect to for Krush to be like, I just wanted to make sure you were okay, which is kind of sad, right? Subaru was like preparing for like the absolute worst, but she just wanted to know that, like, you know, he was okay.
So, when Krush revealed it was all out of concern for him, Subaru immediately became disgusted by his own gross level of pettiness. He couldn't believe his own short-sightedness when all Krush was doing was thinking about him. She was worried he might be afflicted with the same pain that she was. This was an unforgivable sin Subaru couldn't help but apologize for, leading to a reaction that had him reaching out to her. The contact which would reveal maybe Krush could be saved. The thing about Subaru being able to absorb the curse himself, though, is that whatever he took in wasn't equivalent to what he took out. With only Krush's left hand and part of her face being healed, Subaru's entire right arm had changed because of it.
Jesus.
It showed this wasn't an equivalent exchange like how he thought.
Not an equivalent exchange. Okay.
If anything, the exchange was something like 10 to 1 or more.
God damn! So this is fucking insane. Yeah, he can't be absorbing too much, bro. I'm scared, bro. Don't let him yo, Subaru, chill. I low-key don't, yo, because we don't know what would happen if he just keeps absorbing and absorbing, bro. He could transform, yo, he could transform into something crazy, bro. I don't know, we don't know the side effects. We have no idea.
That being the case, if Subaru was to absorb Krush's curse in its entirety, it's likely no part of him would remain unaffected.
Oh my
this
god.
This was a consequence he was more than willing to accept, though, leading to an emotional exchange where Krush would have to tell Felix to stop Subaru.
Yeah, nah. Subaru was about to fucking go crazy, bro. The emotional. He was gonna let his emotions take over and just keep fucking going at it, bro. Yeah, that's also pretty sus. What he took in was different from what he took out. This is wild.
Of course, Felix wanted Krush better more than anyone, but even he couldn't go against her wishes right in front of her like that. It was a challenging decision that really tested his resolve. Subaru's too. This made Subaru's line at the end all the more impactful because despite all the pain Krush was currently going through, she was willing to bear it so that Subaru could follow through on it.
Damn.
If anything, it motivated Subaru to make sure he could. It was after that Wilhelm would ask if Subaru's right arm was truly okay, to which Subaru would respond just as you'd expect. If all he got were these nasty scars, then that was a price he was willing to pay in order to save Krush.
Yeah, if it was just scars, but like Subaru, we don't know what exactly it is. You know what I mean? Like, he thinks it's just like some scars. Like, he thinks it's like some simple shit. Like, it could be something crazier, man. But
sure, he was a bit reluctant to permanently disfigure himself, but if there truly was no other solution, then Subaru was ready to cover his entire body like this.
wow.
He knew he would just have to apologize to Amelia, Rem, and Beatrice later.
But I do respect I respect Subaru for this, bro. He's not really thinking too much about his actions. He's acting very emotionally, but I also do respect the fact that he will be willing to do anything to save Krush as well. Very, very, very fucking base from him, bro.
Either way, this whole thing was yet another mystery added to that body of his. There was Return by Death and his resistance to the witch factor, and now the Curse of the Beast fighting against the Curse of the Dragon Blood. Subaru truly had no idea what it was going on inside of him.
What the fuck is happening? What is going on inside Subaru? Pause. What is going on inside him, bro? His body's a mess. Like, You got the witch factors. You got these motherfuckers fighting inside you. Like, dude, like, what is happening, dude?
In any case, when returning to finalize the key parts of the plan,
Eesh.
Subaru decided not to tell anyone what just happened with Krush. Since he intended to save her whether people wanted him to or not, he decided to avoid any conflict and treat it as an ask for forgiveness instead of permission type situation. When Priscilla announced her bold move next, Subaru knew he had no right to contest it. If they had allowed Krush to fight before, then she was fine to do so as well. Besides, to Subaru, her power and swordsmanship was at least similar to that of Krush's.
Definitely.
So, to even
I think, yo, Priscilla, I need to see her fight more. We don't, from the looks of it, she looks pretty fucking strong. She has the fucking Yang sword, right? The 10 swords of power, right? That's the names of them. One of the 10 swords of power, right? The 10 strongest swords ever. She has one of them. The other one is literally just Reinhardt. Like, she has that shit. Like, she's fucking insane. I want to see her fight, though. Like, I want to see how the true, like, the strength of this girl, man. She a baddie and she's strong? God damn, Priscilla.
well. Besides, to Subaru, her power and swordsmanship was at least similar to that of Krush's.
We need more.
So, to even question or challenge her decision, well, that had led to some serious shade being thrown towards Krush. It was enough that Wilhelm felt the need to step in and defend her. Of course, Priscilla, being Priscilla, stood by her words and even doubled down. She truly believed anyone forced to leave before the main show had even started certainly wasn't fit to be the lead. She was expressing her disappointment in the person she thought was Krush. Anastasia was the one who had to calm things down, bringing the discussion back on course with regards to how Priscilla planned to beat Wrath.
Okay.
Well, as dangerous as it was, Priscilla made it clear she wouldn't have chosen a fight she knew she couldn't win. You see, with the very logic of the world proceeding in a way that was most convenient to her,
Yeah.
Priscilla knew defeat wasn't even a possibility.
Why is Priscilla low-key just like... Why is she so fucking based? Why is she so fucking... Okay, yo, okay, damn. Holy damn.
It's why she could have absolute confidence in both her and Liliana's safety.
Dude, she got it. I believe in her. She got it. I want to see the fight, though. I believe in her. Let me see her fight, man.
Now, Reinhardt receiving the Blessing of Judgment, then using it to determine Liliana's power is pretty much as OP as you think it is. So, to answer your question, yes, Reinhardt can wish for whatever blessing he wants.
Yeah, okay. Pretty much confirmation, right? I think I already knew this information. I don't know who the fuck mentioned that to me. Who knows? I mean, I don't know how long I've been knowing this information, right? I've been reading comments for a while. Sometimes I just have information and I low-key forget about it until it, like, happens. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I did know this, though. That's fucking crazy, though. He could just, like... And that's why it shocked me, because it's like, I forgot about it until it happened. Until it happened, I was like, oh my god, this motherfucker could just do that. Like, it fucking popped up, and just, like, closing his eyes and be like, I wish. And it's like, yo, what the fuck? You just pulled it out of his fucking... You know what I mean? I think that's fucking crazy, though. That's broken as hell. That's why he has, like... Didn't you... Okay, wait. I literally saw a list, by the way. It was, like, an image of Reinhardt and all of his, like, divine blessings, bro. His, like, protections. And it was, like, a shit... 250 plus. 250 plus? Brother. That's broken as hell.
Using it to determine Liliana's power is pretty much as OP as you think it is. So, to answer your question, yes, Reinhardt can wish for whatever blessing he wants.
That's crazy.
Should he desire something when he needs it, then whether it be the gods, the world, or fate itself, something out there would make it happen. The limits of said blessings aren't exactly known, but the author has mentioned they're usually just minor buffs.
Interesting. Tape giving the info about this Reinhardt shit? Hold on, brought it back.
Fate itself, something out there would make it happen. The limits of said blessings aren't exactly known, but the author has mentioned they're usually just minor buffs.
We don't know the limits, but it's normally minor buffs. That's why it's literally... Isn't one of them literally just... You can tell from sugar and salt? Is that useful? I mean, I guess. I don't know about enough... yeah, salt reasoning, like... Do we need that? I mean, maybe, I don't know.
Not something totally game-changing like a blessing of teleportation.
Yeah.
There's really no point trying to understand how it works though, because at the end of the day, Reinhardt will just do whatever Reinhardt does.
That's so stupid. There's no point in understanding it because Reinhardt just does what Reinhardt does. Reinhardt is just Reinhardt. Reinhardt is just Reinhardt. Like, what? What are we doing, man?
As for how Subaru perceived this power himself,
he has the smallest gate? That's funny. That's hilarious. Strongest ever, by the way.
Trying to understand how it works though, because at the end of the day, Reinhardt will just do whatever Reinhardt does. As for how Subaru perceived this power himself, the whole thing felt incredibly wrong. As amazing of an ability it was, he couldn't help but feel something was off about it. Now, to switch over to Liliana and her own meager blessing, this simply allows her to convey her feelings to others. Normally it's telepathy limited to those she's intimate with, but it seems singing has expanded that range to everyone.
So, I'm glad we got an explanation on that, because I don't know why, for some reason, I guess that was the weird thing, bro. Every time she was singing and shit, I was like, why does everyone just, like, lock in? Like, I guess, like, so that's her thing.
Her own meager blessing, this simply allows her to convey her feelings to others. Normally it's telepathy limited to those she's intimate with, but it seems singing has expanded that range to everyone.
Interesting.
It was information Priscilla already claimed to know, so the fact everyone had gone to such great lengths just to verify it, well, that was simply absurd to her.
That's what, yeah, Subaru knew the lyrics. That's the explanation for it. I low-key. It's kind of funny because, like, everything in ReZero seems to have an explanation. Either explanation or, like, a question, right? A question mark, mystery. So, like, it's kind of funny because I low-key thought that was just, like, some comedic shit, bro. Like, Subaru just started singing along like it's some fucking musical. But, like, okay, I guess that makes a lot of sense. Okay.
It was a testament to the heroics Priscilla was putting on in her own way. She didn't need a blessing to determine Liliana could do this because she had already entrusted her fate to the fact she would. It was yet another display of her often overlooked ingenuity. Still, Subaru wanted to reduce any risk where he could because where Priscilla believed his concern to be completely misplaced, Subaru didn't want anyone to die. As much as it would have benefited him and the Amelia camp, Priscilla's death was not something any of them would celebrate. It was a firm stance that fully caught Priscilla by surprise. Moving on to...
It's more than that, bro. Like, people are gonna be shocked about that, like, especially, like, Priscilla, but, like, I think that, like, I think it's just, like, the value of life, bro. People dying and shit, like, people alongside you that you're fighting with dying, like, like, there's no way that, like, someone dies, like, in, like, one of the fights with the archbishops and shit. If someone is twisted enough or sick enough to be like, first thought, like, yes, we're good for the royal selection, bro. Yo, let's go. Our camp wins. Like, what the fuck? Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's sick as hell. I don't know. That's just sick as hell.
Who fought lust? The reason Reinhardt felt the need to protest Wilhelm's decision is because his swirling bloodlust made it clear he wasn't in the right mind to. There was a clear demeanor which made Wilhelm seem focused on something other than the fight. This was what Reinhardt picked up on, leading to the attempted intervention we see in the anime. This, however, only spurred Wilhelm to resolve himself more, unleashing the conviction of the Sword Devil through and through.
Yeah.
He had this fierce grin along with a strong desire for battle, a confident attitude that I can only imagine was far different from what we got in the anime. The plea that finally convinced Reinhardt to let it go was Garfield's request to help Subaru. Since he too had to abandon his camp to repay his debt, Garfield could only beg for the help of someone who was stronger than him. It was a powerful display that showed he now accepted his weakness and the result of his failures.
Yeah.
Development that's been pretty sidelined for Garfield. So,
yeah, it's been pretty sidelined, but I can, now that he points it out here, yeah, he's definitely, from the start of the season, right? Remember the start of the season when he was so mad that Reinhardt literally just, like, put his hand up like this, and he was like, damn, I'm not the strongest, bruh. W fucking development. W Garfield, man. That's good.
Matchups now decided. The last thing to do was distribute the conversation mirrors. With only 3 available and 4 teams in total, that meant they needed to be divided by importance. So the first went to Team Wrath since learning of her defeat was the most essential. The next to Team Greed since there was a good chance Reinhardt beats him quick, then the third to Team Lust due to the sheer amount of numbers she had.
Wow.
Reason being that if Reinhardt was to become available after beating Greed, then it would be good to know whether Team Lust needed his help or not.
Ah, that's funny as hell. That's funny as hell. Alright, you know, Reinhardt will probably beat him quick. Alright, and then he'll just come back over here. Maybe he can help us out with Lust, man. Like, that's that's so funny.
So, this was the plan Subaru put together for them.
Wow.
A counterattack which had everyone all tense.
Let me hear that again. Let me hear that again. Who put together that plan?
So, this was the plan Subaru put together for them.
That's my fucking goat. That's my fucking goat. Out here with the plans, man. With the skis, bro. Bro, Subaru is so good, man.
A counterattack which had everyone all tense, up until Subaru made his declaration that they were going to win. That's where I'm going to end it for this video, so if you liked what you saw and want to see more, then leave a like and check out the previous episodes. I'll be covering the last bit of this episode in another video, a smaller second part to the finale that'll probably come out next week. I'll talk about it early on stream on Sunday too, so if you want to prove your ReZero knowledge and win some prizes, come join us over at Twitch or here on YouTube.
That's funny.
But anyway, as always, thank you so much for watching, and if you enjoyed this type—
Alright. No Glutty mention? I mean, isn't that just Julius? Like, you know? Julius and who else? Ricardo, right? Julius and Ricardo. That's pretty much what they're yeah, Julius and Ricardo, yeah. Well, another W cut content from AniNews. Thank you so much, man. Absolute peak, man. Thank you so much for the cut content coming in clutch. That is going to be it for today's cut. Part 2? I thought he said that's like only a section. That's why. Wait. We good? We good? He said
every
is that he said it's like it's gonna be a part of it for the episode next week. That's why I'm scared. I don't want like there's no episode 9 stuff, right? That's what I'm saying. Like hopefully there's no episode 9 stuff. Now you're good? Okay. Alright. That is not it for today's cut content. That's not for that's not it for today's cut content. Okay. Are we good? Alright. Let's go. Okay. This was called Subaru and Reinhardt versus Regulus plus. That's why I was kind of scared. I was like, Subaru and Reinhardt versus. Okay. Alright. I guess I misunderstood Mr. AniNews then. Alright, let's go.
Every Archbishop of Sin abides by their own twisted rules and logic. Regulus is certainly no different, but the way he exhibits greed and applies it to his own life is made most clear during this single interaction with Amelia. There was a lot to his character we unfortunately didn't get to see, including a fundamental part of his motivation that the anime even misdirected us from. Whereas here he directly states obsession over appearance to be the most shallow form of a relationship, the novel declares that as the only thing he truly values in a relationship.
Yeah.
The way he chooses—
Wait, true. Very good point. This was kind of weird, right? What are these subs? It's the yeah. Okay, I'm pretty sure this is like. I think the one that I got was this one, right? It's the most shallow form, really. Yeah, I'm like yeah, like what's happening here, bro?
Relationship. The novel declares that as the only thing he truly values in a relationship.
Yeah, the appearance, yeah.
The way he chooses who to love is based on one's face and their face alone.
Bro, this guy's
Knowing
crazy.
This makes everything he does make a lot more sense, and it helps us to understand his own twisted logic a whole lot better. So, that's what I want to talk about here, along with the start of the counterattack from Subaru and Reinhardt. Let's get started.
Let's go.
The first skipped scene actually comes from before the wedding. It involves Amelia getting ready with some of the other wives, doing her hair in a way far more complex than she ever would. It was a routine that reminded her of the times she spent with Puck. Amelia felt their efforts were wasted on her, but such a comment only made the other wives sigh. Reason being that all they cared about was not upsetting Regulus.
Damn.
They didn't say much the entire time they were with her, but this was the one warning they made sure to express. Now, though all their faces were for the most part expressionless, a faint bit of distress could be seen on 184. After hearing how Amelia would face the wedding in her own way, she couldn't help but feel a bit uneasy about the whole thing. That said, she did choose not to tell Regulus what her intentions were, so that, along with her presence, was enough to support Amelia's resolve here. This brings us now to the wedding, starting with the question of why she was 79. We already got the answer in the anime, but what we didn't get was the pride Regulus had for having made such a decision. You see, he was truly shocked by the way he was able to keep such a commitment. The way he believed in his feeling that someone else would come and take the seat of 79. Well, that was a level of confidence and trust that not just anyone could have.
This guy.
It was some self-praise that directly clashed with the question Amelia would ask after. Why was there an open seat to begin with? Well, while the original 79 did pass the most important hurdle of having an appearance he considered ideal, in the end he found her to be unsuitable. That said, in order to remember her out of some sense of lingering attachment, Regulus felt it only right to leave her seat open. This in turn led to him meeting Amelia, which was a development Regulus liked to consider fate. As for Amelia, this whole turn of events was something that just felt off. Something about Regulus's reasoning brought forth an invisible unease that was slowly coming into view. One she couldn't quite figure out yet. When Amelia went on to ask even more questions next, the whole prospect was something Regulus was surprisingly quite open to. As a couple about to become man and wife, he fully agreed there were things that could only be discussed before their marriage. Points of interest that needed to be discussed as individuals, since as this was a journey they were about to embark on together, it was of absolute importance to be prepared for it. Regulus didn't want Amelia walking into something she wasn't ready for, and that same courtesy extended back to Regulus. That's why he fully agreed the two should share their thoughts. It was to prepare for their future as husband and wife, but more importantly set their expectations as individuals. Of course, Regulus went first and explained the promises he forced every wife to abide by, but the main requirement every wife must have before that is an alluring face he considers to be beautiful.
Which is so fucked up. Didn't he literally tell Amelia? He told Amelia, like, you can't smile, you can't be angry or some shit, like, you can't express yourself, you gotta keep the same fucking face. Like, what the fuck is wrong with this guy, bro?
It's the sole reason he chose Amelia and all his other wives. As for why that is, well, that's something that Regulus has thought about for quite some time now. It's a personal choice that all comes back to the twisted logic that defines every single action he takes. So, in a world where most people simply do as they please, it's those who fall into love then fall out of it that truly disgust Regulus.
What?
To him, they're what he would consider utterly worthless. The way they presumably loved each other then found incompatibilities later, well, that was to him truly and utterly selfish.
What the fuck is wrong with this guy? What the fuck is wrong with this guy, man? What the fuck? Yeah, fucking anime figurines. Like, what is wrong with this guy, man?
Whether habits, hobbies, schedules, or even food preferences, every excuse one might give to fall out of love was both trash and selfish.
Trash? That's an excuse? Is trash and selfish? Brother, what? Oh, is bro cooking?
Reason being that if they truly loved each other the way life partners were supposed to, then there should be no excuse to drift apart from them ever. This brings into question the excuse of aesthetics, because that was an excuse Regulus believed to be the most foolish reason to drift apart. It's actually the sole reason behind why he chooses his own wives the way he does. So long as they had a face that he could love, then there was no doubt in his mind his love for them would never fade.
Crazy.
It didn't matter the type of person they were, because the face was the only thing he loved about them.
Dude.
As long as that remained, then his love for them would be eternal.
Somebody stop this man. As long as the face stays, his love will be eternal? This guy, what did the actual fuck? Wait, that's actually a very good point, bro. Literally like anime figurines, bro. What the fuck is that?
So, whether they're a housekeeper or a serial killer, a bad cook, or someone trying to destroy the world, Regulus truly did not care.
Wow.
Amelia couldn't tell how many of his wives fell into these categories, but the fact he was pointing at them as he spoke made it clear he wasn't really lying about it. He was firm when it came to the stance that he would love anyone without distinction.
Yep.
It was at its core love that was impartial, unquestioning, and non-discriminatory. Why was it then that he wanted his wives not to smile? Well, to make any other expression other than the one Regulus determined to be the one he loved, that was something he just couldn't accept.
Yeah, so you fucking crashed the fuck out and you're gonna fucking kill him? The craziest line I think he said was like, I don't want to turn this wedding into a funeral. Like, what is... This guy needs to be fucking stopped, man. I don't want to turn this wedding into a funeral. Like, oh my god, bro. Some of his wives were cultists, and I remember something of one of them selling her own brother. So they got some bad people in that bitch, huh? Some of them are just fucked up, but like, Regulus doesn't fucking care as long as they have that same face, huh? This guy is so twisted.
Any and all changes of expression risked the potential of turning the ones he loved ugly, so rather than put up with a thought so unbearable, he instead saved the world from the net loss of turning her face ugly and forbid the possibility of it even happening.
Wow.
That's the reason behind why no one can smile, laugh, cry, get mad, rejoice, or anything.
Insane.
This directly contradicted his actions with 184, since if Amelia hadn't pulled her out of the way during his outburst here, then Regulus would have killed a person he says he still loved. At least according to his logic anyway.
True.
This was what Regulus simply called an unfortunate misunderstanding, because his actions had nothing to do with a change in love for her. All it was a lack of attention which went to upset him.
Okay.
Him trying to kill her was simply him forcing her to take responsibility. Amelia believed such a reason to be fickle, but Regulus immediately clapped back by saying it wasn't. Reason being that the fact he still loved her was 100% true. It was a fact that would remain even if she had died. Just like how loved ones who have passed live on in your heart, the love he felt for 184 would have remained all the same, everlasting within him for all eternity. So, such was the logic Regulus operated by.
What kind of fucking logic is
with
this?
The way it was built head to toe with a sole focus on him, not a single person was ever even considered within it. It was the result of a lifetime dedicated to refining it. A creation birthed from flawless logic, incomplete by nature. This made it clear that there was no way of getting through to him, so as much as Amelia wanted to believe she could talk things out, the way Regulus stood behind his rationality made it impossible to refute it. So, when Regulus proceeded to ask if Amelia had a problem with him, all he wanted was for her to spend a little effort putting herself into his shoes. Since he had put all this effort into being considerate of her, he felt it only natural that the same courtesy be extended to him. It was, after all, the most basic of basics when dealing with people.
Bruh.
To neglect that was a clear sign she didn't believe him to be worthy of the effort, so that by extension was what made it an infringement of his rights. An act we know is very much unforgivable.
The violation of his rights. Anosa. GG's.
Now, when Amelia went to ask why he refers to his wives by number next, this was what Regulus considered to be a fixation on a form of address. And since we know he hates obsessing over anything that isn't form of appearance, that was just another superficial part of a relationship he felt was unnecessary. It was proof of one's lack of confidence to continue loving someone without all that extra stuff. This was something Regulus prided himself in not being bothered by, once again affirming just how pure and unquestioning his own love is.
Ah, yeah.
He truly believed it was his way of showing how he didn't like to put himself on a pedestal. Now, that's actually the core point I believe the anime misdirects us from, since it's not that he considers obsession over appearance shallow, it's more so he considers everything else to be. So, the direct opposite message is being emphasized in the novels. The only thing Regulus cares about is their face, and that's the main thing keeping his love for them going. This in turn makes all his rules make a lot more sense, and it defines his actions a whole lot better. Of course, Amelia would go on to deny this in her own way, bringing us to her speech, which was pretty much faithful all the way to the end. The one thing I do want to make clear though is that Amelia had no intent on giving up here. She was actually preparing herself for a counterattack and even getting ready for whatever battle was about to come next.
Let's fucking go, Amelia. Let's fucking go, Amelia. EMT, man. Love that. She was ready to fucking throw hands is what she was about to do, man.
It was right as they were about to clash, though, that's when the door would hit Regulus.
Okay.
The thing is, the impact didn't send him flying like how we saw in the anime. He had instead brushed it aside like it was a bug.
Oh.
This is more in line with how his authority works, since as far as we know, physical attacks shouldn't affect him.
Very good point. Why the fuck did it actually push him back, huh? He actually got hit by the... Huh. Interesting detail there.
So, it's only a minor difference in which the door doesn't make contact, but what we got instead was so much more satisfying.
True. Facts, though.
But yeah,
Way
that's
better.
pretty much it for Season 3, Part 1.
Okay.
I hope you enjoyed learning a bit more about Regulus, and if you did, then leave a like and let me know in the comments. The whole playlist for the previous episodes are...
Alright. That now is actually it. Now it's actually it for the cut content, man. Well, W cut content, man. This time we have ended part 1 of the cut content stuff, man. Thank you, AniNews, so much for the cut content once again, man. That's gonna be it for today's video. If you enjoyed and you're new, subscribe, leave a like down below. The full uncut version to all ReZero content will be on Patreon. As always, have a good day, and I'll see you guys next time. See you guys.